It should have the red dot. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, now it's recording. Cool. Sorry, just let me stop sharing and share again because it lost my document. Yeah. Okay. So essentially, Freddie, what you're looking at is our what we call our content tracking list, which we've been using for the past, I think, the last 2 annual reports. Primarily because there's a lot of content that has to go into the annual report, and it comes from various units. Yeah, so just for us to be able to keep track and also hold people accountable as far as what they owe us and the deadlines that we've been given them. It also gives you some kind of line of sight as far as your expectation as far as content is concerned. Obviously, this was drafted prior to us seeing your amended, which I still don't have. So you'll talk us through that. Yeah. So your amended project plan. So this is essentially a guide that we'll have, and then we'll obviously align it to what you guys have. So this has been shared with staff members across the group. Just in terms of major dates to consider, already the one for 27th of May. Yeah, so that is when we would have primarily preferred to have the photo shoot, only because all the exco and board members are going to, it's the board meeting. So we were going to have, that's when board members and exco were going to be in one place. And it makes it easy. Is it Teams? Oh, so it was, yeah, it was tentative because I wanted to find out where it's being held. So what we then need to do is organize a day. And we'll have to schedule with your photographer as far as when we'll have to.
Great, awesome. And that is still possible, no? 27th of May.
No,
It's not possible.
so it won't be anymore because now they're online.
You could do the 28th for the exco, but I think it's pushing it too close.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was similar to how we had it as well.
Was the
Is it?
exco
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can, yeah, so we can have a conversation about that. And also if exco is physical, then we can see about doing it with exco.
You would have the date, but I don't think we'll be agreeable to want to do it in next week. And if I'm already having
When is it?
reservations about it,
Thursday.
I know my
It's Thursday, next week Thursday. No?
next week Thursday. Next week Thursday, yeah.
But people are gonna have the weekend to do hair.
I
Okay.
don't like pictures really, but
Yeah, so that's also why it's easier when there's an actual physical meeting forcing everybody to be here. Then it means that because board meetings, exco meetings are mandatory, it'll be easier to have compliance as opposed to us scheduling a day and saying, "Hi guys, we're gonna have a photographer out between these hours. Please pop in."
Please pop in.
Yes, no, then people don't pop in. But we'll have a conversation about that. And then Manisha will obviously work backwards in terms of when we need to submit to the AG. And based on when we need to submit the final Word version to the AG, she'll then let us know when MNE's Word version needs to be. So before the Word version goes to the AG, it needs to go to MNE first. So that whatever corrections, we've got at least a week to make whatever changes need to be changed before the AG sees it. So AG gets the Word version and then gets the laid out version as well. Then we've got tentative dates for sign off or tentative period for sign off for print deadline, as well as delivery date for Go ahead. We said second week. Go ahead, Manisha.
Thanks, Lerato. I just wanted to include 2 other dates to consider. That would obviously have to be Mango Exco and then also board. Remember, board needs to look at the version also. Yeah.
Do they sign off Word version?
So Mango and Axco will need to send them a Word version once M&E has reviewed for them to give further input. For them to come back with any comments or additions that they might have.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just need to be cognizant of the dates to board and everyone else. So I wasn't sure if this was Word version dates, but before anything goes through so Word version to Auditor General, we didn't submit last year, we submitted the final
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will need to go back and double check because, you know, we've got a new AG team. What worked for the previous AG team might not work for this AG
This new
team.
one.
Yes.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
when you're chatting with them, Manisha, they'll also obviously give you the date when we need to submit to them, and then we'll work backwards from that date.
Yes. Yes. So also the project plan that's going to be provided to us now, I'll also have a look at that project plan and then insert dates on that to work backwards.
Okay.
Because I
Just
see you've got sign off to print and everything, and we can only get those sign off once we've got layout version to Exco board.
The next, the next board meeting would be July, then, 29th July.
Yeah, because we'll have to work towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too close.
Is it to Exco or to board?
Well, whatever
The
goes to
design
board has to go
version.
to
Well,
Exco,
design
hey?
version goes to Expo, it doesn't go to board. So that can be done in June sometime. Or, yeah, it can be done in June. I think we're going.
It would have to be after AG signs off Word.
You're talking about the design version of what? Of the AFS or design version of what
The annual report.
itself?
Yeah.
For annual report.
The full annual report.
The fully completed annual report.
Yeah.
Mm.
It would have to be in July.
Yeah.
Does it not go to board as well?
It doesn't go to board. Normally we send it to Jackie. Well, it does go to board, but not through a board meeting. So essentially,
round
once we
robin.
are done with Exco, we then send it to Jackie for round robin with the board.
Okay.
And presented at board. Unless group CEO believes this year we need to do it differently, I'll discuss
Okay,
with her
this
on
with
Monday.
I'll send an update to everybody so that we can all consult relevant stakeholders. And
So
then I'm also I'm still chasing for this final delivery date from DED.
I think to be on the safe side, since they keep changing, leave it at the 3rd week in August.
Yeah.
Because the absolute hard deadline for submission to legislature is 31 August. And they usually want it before, but they can never make up their minds which date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they did last year.
Mm.
Okay. Cool. So ARs, the annual report sections, we've got the pre-section, which is contents, list of figures and tables, which is always craziness, as well as the list of abbreviations and acronyms, in as much as these seem like run-of-the-mill sections. What we found is that they're not. A lot of changes generally end up happening in those sections. So yeah, team also just to be advised in terms of vigilance. And then this breakdown is based on the latest guidelines that we received from the SLA. We've got the SLA from So it's public entities information. That's the easy stuff in terms of addresses, contact details, whatever, which you will get from forward by the chairperson, executive officers overview, and then statement of responsibility and confirmation of accuracy. That's extracted from the guideline. Yeah. Then you've got your board member profiles. So that is grabbed from last year's. So what we do is you'll see, we've got the profiles from last year's, and then they just have to update whatever's there, and then you guys will just have to plump. So there's not exactly writing that's needed for that section. And then we've got executive management. That is essentially just it's pictures. Pictures with their names and job titles. And then you'll see there's been since last year's, no, so that's the year before last, this is last year. Since last year's guideline in terms of the format or layout, it's changed. Or order of things, yeah. So in terms of which section. So yeah, sometimes what they'll do is they'll just move subsections within the sections, which is what they've done. So that's essentially pretty straightforward because you've got our strategic overview. What we did last year is that we utilized the one from the previous year. So that one is 2023-24 that you're holding. This one is last year's one, which is 24-25 annual report. So what is in here in terms of the strategic overview is what we did that side. It hadn't shifted, but we just need confirmation from the board if
it's still the same.
Yeah, based on the board strategy, the recent board strategy that
they don't change, but
Yeah.
could change.
Exactly. And the reason why I brought, sorry, Manisha, I brought the AR pack from last year as well as the year before. It's just also for you guys to see in terms of our aesthetics, quality, for print, visuals, etc. Where am I? Okay, then we get to section B. Section B is where most of the work is done. And like Manisha said, M&E, as far as giving us content, they're the ones who oversee the content for section B because that's the performance. Yes, so that's where the writing is the bulk of the writing is going to take place. Yeah, so what we do is obviously in the build-up, we've got Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 reports. So essentially, that information needs to be correlated for the annual report to give a holistic performance overview for the year. And then there's also, so yeah, there's infographics, but as well as infographics as well as actual narratives that need to be done. And then one thing that we do need your team to be vigilant about is that narratives, especially that accompany tables, there's correlation between what's written in the narrative and what you get in the numbers in the table. Okay, so section B starts with the auditor's report. And then we go to impact situational analysis. This is something, so that's essentially the section that you had as far as the economic overview and all those infographics. We are speaking to MBI as far as, and I'll follow up with them as far as the information that they give us is concerned. So that we can see how we lay that out. We've also seen that in terms of layout, that's also one of the sections that takes time. because it's how do you present the data in a way that's understandable, but also it doesn't look too content heavy or busy. Yeah. So the cluttering, I think, is an issue that we did come across last year.
Okay.
So last year's one, we had to do quite a few revisions and cuts as far as data is concerned. So that's one thing that your designer is going to have to.
So this was from.
So
this one is from
23, 24,
23, 24.
and then this one is 24, 25.
I see the trying simplify. That's the background addition of icons makes it feel too. Yeah, but
And the thing is, with the economic overview, you will always have a lot of text, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ours is to
Yeah.
try and minimize it and make it as practical
Yeah.
as possible for
Yeah.
people to read it and use it as a source document.
Yeah.
But there's too much text.
Yeah, there's too much text.
It becomes a challenge for people to want to
Mm.
engage with the content.
Yeah, it becomes too. Because, yeah, those are our economists.
I see your hand again. Anisha?
Thanks, Fuzi. Thanks, Fuzi.
Anisha, just interject, ne?
Okay. All right, no problem. Thanks, Fuzi. And yeah, Lerato, I was going to mention the thing about the economic overview and how much of data and the visual aspect of it. And it's something that I think I mentioned to Muzi as well at the Manco last week, that they need to review how much of information they're going to be providing and start working with the design team as soon as possible, because that does become a bit of a challenge when you're trying to design so much of content. And to put it into a user friendly, for the reader, because if you're looking at last year's, the data was so much that pages just, even with myself, who was au fait with the information, it was too cluttered and confusing at some points. So it's something in terms of a design element that I think the designers are going to have to spend quite some bit of time on, with that impact and situational analysis.
Yeah.
And then just the second point, Lerato, I know you mentioned the Q1 to 4 quarterly reports. And yes, we can provide those to the service provider as background information. What we have done in terms of the content for Section B, because it's also so much of content and writing that's going to need to happen on this section, we've already started getting input from the various subsidiaries. I'm sure that you've briefed, sorry, I'm just trying to remember the name here. It's Freddie, hey?
Ready.
Yes, I'm sure that you've briefed Freddie that we are quite a big group with the subsidiaries, the 4 subsidiaries, as well as the various divisions that would be providing information on not only Section B, but the other sections as well. So with the Section B performance information, we're going to give you a completed section with all information for that specific section coming through from the subsidiaries and the various units. So we'll give that through to you. That section will require a complete rewrite in one style, because you'll see, because input is coming from different divisions and different subsidiaries, the style of writing is different. And in so much as holdings are reviewing and editing and, where we can, we are very clinical in how we report. And I think also when your writer is writing without losing context, they need to see the flow of those reports. Because like I said, we're very clinical when we report, we stick to data and how we write. So I think your writer is just going to have to put a bit of effort and thought around how they're going to present all of that information in a readable manner that's not too clinical. But for Section B, like I said, Lerato, even though there are the Q4 reports that the writer can reference, we're going to be providing that entire annualized section for the writer to work on.
You think lucky you?
Yeah, what is about?
No, she's
Exactly, I
making
want-
your job a lot easier this year.
Yeah, I just want to find out if it's more, is it more data-driven writing? That means that there's more numbers in terms of how we communicate? Or is the data going to be more integrated into infographics and what have you?
So you'll have to use a combination of writing and infographic. We'll actually, on the section that we do, we'll indicate where we either want a graph or we want an infographic, whether we want something in a map format. So on that content that we give you, we'll give you guidance as to how we want certain things depicted.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
So, but it's also for your writer and for your design team to say, look, guys, you are reporting people, you are clinical. We think that maybe a graph does not adequately represent this information, or we can do it in this way, which is a little bit more visual and more engaging. So it's also for your design team and writer then to look at what we've given and give suggestions as to what would look better and what would work better in relation to content. But that section is very, very data driven, very content heavy. There's going to be tables and numbers that the writers are going to have to double check. So if I give you a table with a whole lot of job numbers, to reconcile those numbers to make sure that the percentages are correct. So that it's not only writing, but there's also double checking from an independent view.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's where the financial analyst comes in.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where he comes in.
Okay.
Well, he's going to come in there and he's going to come in on the finance
Oh,
section.
by the finance section.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the most important thing is if we as writers understand what is being communicated ourselves. Because I think one of the biggest problem with writing is when you don't understand what you're writing. So you find that we don't understand what you guys are communicating, and we just like, ignore it. Let's just wing it.
Yeah, just to
understand
backtrack,
it, yeah.
I don't know how much you know
Yeah.
about Gauteng growth and development.
Well, yeah, I've read enough, but
Okay.
you probably know more than me.
That's fine. I think it's the annual reports will give you a view, but
Okay.
if need be, then we'll just give you a broad overview
Yeah.
of who's who where,
Okay.
so that it just helps your writer, ease into the writing, and understand how all of these come together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
I
also,
think-
go ahead, Manisha.
Sorry, Lorata. And I think also Markham's will guide you in terms of the style of writing, whether we want a flowery, flowing style or how they want it. Because I think a lot of times that we have feel-good stories or really good, what am I saying? What am I trying to say? Where we've achieved quite a bit, but we sell ourselves short in terms of how we actually present the information or what we're saying to the public and the audience. Lerato and Fuzzy will advise if there are certain things that have been profiled during the year, the GIC conference. There's quite a bit that has been or is out there that GGDA has done, which might not adequately be represented or provided with the information that are coming through from the M&E teams. Purely one, because there's some events that we wouldn't have known about, or some highlights that we haven't known about that's linked to actual performance. That I think Fuzi and Lerato, I'll even ask your guidance around. So you'll just have to also tell me, Fuzi, where if we want to profile anything from the subsidiaries, or showcase anything that we need to then add onto this section. And also, what is not on section B currently is the marketing information, which I'm assuming, Lerato, you'll get to.
Yes.
Last
Okay.
year, did we not make it its own section, or what are you?
Yes, we in.
You wanna infuse it back?
No, I don't see it here. That's why I was saying
No,
that I didn't
because
see it here.
yeah, it's because I went strictly by the because last year we decided on our own to add it as a standalone section, So
didn't
we
like
can
his
put it,
position last year. It seemed like it was at the total end. And I think when you're sharing good stories or reflections of great things that you're doing as an organization, I think in 2023, 24, it was close to the beginning rather than at the end. So I don't know unless
I
I'm
think
getting it wrong.
it wasn't, let me see.
It was, I think, after economic overview in 2023. After
Or was it not after the performance section in
after the
2023?
performance section.
I think last year it was after performance, group performance.
Yeah.
Before
and
we
then,
went in, before we went into the programs.
Because
then-
it was under the holding section.
Yes, it was under
Um,
holdings.
in
23,
23, 24 under holdings.
It
Yeah.
was under holdings, which, that's why
Yes.
we just looked at holdings.
No, we
looked
spoke.
at everybody.
No, so 2020,
This is
yeah,
why I like it.
20
I don't like it very
2023, 24, it wasn't a standalone section. We put it under the group performance section or the holding section. And then in 2024, 25, we made it a completely separate section. And I think we did, sorry, Brady, I think we, actually, I think we put it, yeah, I think we went and we put it right at the,
right after everybody's.
right after everybody, because
So
it
my
was an
logic-
add-on.
My logic becomes, Manisha, even though, so in 2023, 24, the way we put it under holdings, right? Even though it was a marketing and comms, and yes, we were looking at holdings, we did depict other achievements that came from the subsidiaries. And anyways, Marcoms, when you look at group marketing and comms, it is something, a functionality that's led at holdings. So I think it must stay where it was in 2020, 2024, rather than where it is in 24, 25. It gives just that much of a, before you get to the technicalities, there's a little bit of a break of not even just
Yeah.
funness, but achievements and impact, you know.
Okay, so I'm
I
gonna
think
add
that's
it
something I
in.
want us to revert to.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can decide. It would have to be after,
After
no, yeah, that section. And
Yeah.
Val is not a standalone
so
program
after
at all.
restaurant and
So let
like
me take out
Yeah,
Val.
no, that's not a standalone at all. It's actually a sub-program of holdings.
Holdings.
Yeah, the SEZs. So you don't have to put it in because it will fall under holdings.
Yeah. So we were saying this year Malcolm's will fall under holdings. Okay.
So I think you just need to make a note, and I'll leave a section on that institutional program performance for marketing. I'll just highlight it in a color to say Markham's to provide input.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
do this.
Colleagues, I just need to phone CEO's office back. If you can just give me 5 minutes.
No stress.
Thanks.
Okay. There you goes. Okay. So we've got group performance. And then after that, that's when we go into our institutional program performance. So all our subsidiaries, you'll see. Starting with first holdings, which is us, GGDA, then we'll move to AIDC, the Innovation Hub, GIDZ, and Cornell. Yes, so you'll see all our subsidiaries in there. So under part B.
immediately after
So we've got, so each, what you've seen, yeah, so each sub, as an intro to each program or subsidiary, will then have essentially a double page breaker.
Okay, I see.
And then each subsidiary will have this, and then information pertaining to that subsidiary. What we've done here is that we've also correlated the color to the tables for that particular section.
What would be nice is to actually choose these correlation colors.
Yes,
So there's different,
in the tabs.
yeah. So you can
That's what I was thinking for, what is it? The project book. Yes, I wanted to say that's one of my inputs for the project book, because then it makes,
It just allows
you
to
can
just know
see
the
that there's
section.
different, it tells you that there's different sections already. I thought about that and I was like, am I going to be doing too much? But like, you're giving us work.
Is it? Are they finished now?
No, never. I followed up again with the fellow, was it yesterday or the day before? I'm gonna tell if we don't hear back from them, we're going to take.
Lapsico
that.
called me asking me if we're finished. I'll call development.
Yeah, I think Sipo is fine with it, but I followed up with the fellow. I think I've got two
Check my
follow-ups.
I'll call. Just give us.
I hadn't sent to my.
It's fine. We'll send.
Okay. Okay, so then you'll, so the difference between this year and that year will be that that year ended with Conhill. And as we've discussed, this year we added as a, essentially almost like additional program,
Oh.
marketing. We made it almost its own program,
Yeah.
but now we are collapsing it back into holdings, which is program 1. Okay, then we'll go into, still under section B is revenue collection, mostly tables, capital investment. And then we'll then progress from section B to section C, which focuses on governance.
Sorry, just also on the. Where you put, are you saying group CFO?
Yeah,
Why didn't you not putting, is it not
as a
like
lead.
Moaz?
I think it was because Moaz wasn't, I'll
Moaz is
put,
back. Yeah. Yeah, just put Moaz, please, and then you can put Mpo under Moaz, but Moaz must be point of
Lead.
contact, yeah. Point of contact, because group CFO has a lot. He'll do the final approval. at the
Check.
end, yeah. I wanted to just say on this part, particular attention must be paid, please, to the numbers. And also, I mean, the tables are normally practical and simple, but formatting, sometimes when we put it into the way of formatting, people use something for the numbers, some zeros go off and so on, and please, so whoever's dealing with the financials, as well as the final editor needs to literally review this.
Review this.
Yeah.
Make sure that. Yeah.
This is normally the part, actually, no, that's not the one. It is the, it will be the AFSs that come out late. Yeah, so AFSs come right at the end of the work.
I mean, as also submitting them.
Yeah.
Because
we submit the AFSs signed off by the Auditor General. Okay, so you've got part C, which is quite large. So that's all our governance issues. Some of them you'll see it's, what can I say, like here with your introduction, executive authority. It looks like it's a long list for part C, but some of them are literally just paragraphs. So when you look at it, it looks like it's a huge section of the annual report, but it's not. It's just a subsection. And another thing too for the designer to note, just standardization as far as it's something I check as well. Yeah, it's something I check as well, where because there's a lot of content, the subheadings and subheadings, and then the subheadings, they end up losing track in terms of which style it needs to be in and color, and then we get that mishap. So just also from the QA side, if the QA person also watches out for that, but obviously on my end as well, I'll be checking that, because then it'll cause confusion.
Yeah. So, Lerato, I just want to add to that. Also, with all of these tables, right? When your designer is designing it and the writer or editor we must make a distinguish, or we need to decide in terms of right alignment, left alignment, all of those things. And especially when you're looking at the performance section where there's going to be tables that have RAN values, whether we're going to say R000 or RM. I know it sounds small right now, but trust me, in that last review that you're doing, and then you see a table heading that says RM instead of R000, and then you get confused. Also, to make sure those numbers are then speaking or aligned to that heading. Um, so just to be very cognizant of that. And then just one thing on this section, Lerato, that I just need the editor and the writer to also double check is when you have your tables with your board members. Um, and they've got that column with the qualifications. That qualifications must be checked against the profile write-up if we have qualifications there, and make sure that they are aligned. Because what we found in both last year and the previous year is that sometimes the board members would add a new qualification on the table, but then it wouldn't be reflected under their profiles and vice versa.
Yeah. Okay, so then we've got section D, which is human resource. We've given them the deadline of 15 June, so we'll keep pushing. HR also tends to be the one section that we need to chase
And check.
quite a lot.
And
Yes.
check.
Yeah, so
the
there's a lot
content.
of chasing that's required, but there's also a lot of checking. Sorry?
No, I was just saying they have tables.
Yes, so HR, they have, so those are the things we need to check those numbers.
And also, which is something your editor we would obviously check also whether it makes sense from HR. But I think your editor will just have to review again to make sure that the numbers make sense, because I think sometimes we, with HR, we must just review and review.
So
Yeah.
so we'll be more QA checking against the approved word version. Yeah, because that would be the final.
Yeah.
final
Yeah. Because with HR, you'll see there's a lot of numbers and calculation of percentages. That percentage will also need to be checked, because a lot of times I think when we're doing our review, the percentage would be out. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Manisha.
Happy days. Yeah, and it's also it's the smallest section, but it can give one of the biggest headaches.
Mm.
Okay, then we go to part E, which is the PFMA. Essentially, that's finances section. Again, table heavy. Also tiny. Small section, table heavy, similar to the HR. And then you've got the annual financial statement. That's the ones that you'll then add right essentially at the end of the.
I forgot to see what you, sorry, I'm now remembering something at the top of your timeline list. The three options of the cover design, did you put it up?
In terms of deadline for
Yeah.
that, no.
Yeah, the cover designs and also subsidiary covers and layout.
Subsidiary covers and layouts of the AFS covers.
Okay.
Mm. And then on the
Because remember the
AFS,
cover, so we'll do essentially what will give us the cover design for the actual annual report. So the three options, and then once we choose the annual report one, you'll then you'll translate it to the AFSs. And what you'll see with the AFSs is that they essentially speak to what the subsidiary does. Yeah. So the look and feel is similar to the annual report, but in terms of imagery, etc., it speaks to their function. So you'll see there's the GIDZ one, essentially similar because they do agro-processing, jewelry, manufacturing, etc. Yeah, and then you've got Cornhill as well.
Last year's AFS designs were very nice. Cover designs.
Which
for the
one?
subs-
This one?
That was very
Yeah, and then you've
And
Mm.
and Lerato, in terms of the subsidiary AFSs, are they being laid out, or are we going to do what we did last year, where
no,
Uh,
we do.
it's
we
just
do
an
what we-
insert?
Yeah, we do what we did last year, which is essentially the design aspect of it is the cover. So front cover, inside front.
I'll tell you what, Manisha, it would be nice for us to design the AFSs. However, we're going to give ourselves a headache.
No, yeah.
To be able
Okay.
to remove the risk, because normally the AFSs come when we have pressure of being able to get approvals and so on. We'll keep it in the format that we have, and then we just design the cover and the front page.
Mm,
Leave the AFSs as is. It's just easier for not having a headache.
yeah, yeah. No, I
Mhm.
agree. Agreed with that one. It is because it's a bit too much. It really is. So only the main group AFSs would be laid out in the annual report then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Then just give me a second. Just wanted to
You can do in May. I'm sure they can do that.
Yeah. 30 May. And we'll do in June after everybody. AFS, yeah, that's more of AFS cover design options.
Should be fine.
Yeah,
But you need a date for June. You can't just say June.
that one is dependent on when EXCO decides and all those approval. So last time we've
We
said
put a date.
second week June.
Second week June, 15th June. So that it gives me pressure for expo, otherwise we just never have any pressure to do.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, so
Sorry,
yeah.
Lerato, what is the deadline for M&E Section B? Because we are running into delays. I'm not going to even lie about it.
I said 22 June.
For first draft for me to give you input.
It's you, yeah, you the one who said that you guys have delays and what is. Do you want to move it closer?
No.
But move it later.
I'm being naughty. I'm being naughty. Let me
I'm aligning it to, I'm essentially aligning it more or less to last year.
because I'm worried in terms of the writer having enough time. I know last year they didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that they didn't have enough time to engage with the information. So what I'm going to say to you guys, we are delayed with the content because everybody's flat out with AG. What we will do is as soon as I have that consolidated draft ready, we will send it through.
It could even be earlier, but as soon.
So do I leave 22 June or do I move it earlier?
I would say the absolute latest I will send it is 10 June.
Okay, sure.
I'm trying because I know that it's lots of content. And there's lots of back and forth and iterations because every time the writer's going to finalize writing or whatever, then it must come back through to us so that we can go and engage with teams and stuff because people change
this is-
information.
Manisha, the 10 June is for you to give them
Yeah.
the draft, not for them to give you back.
No.
No, it's for us.
No, so all these days, no, so all these dates are our internal. Yeah.
So
No,
you will
yeah.
give us yours based on.
Yes, so these are our internal deadlines when everybody must essentially give me their submissions so that I can give to you.
And what I'm going to be asking,
Yeah, Manisha?
what I want to know in terms of the writer, will they then be providing us I don't know what's going to be their turnaround time. It's a bit difficult, I think, unless they look at the content in last year's annual report for Section B to say, because more or less that section is that big, to say what their turnaround, how long they would need to review and rewrite and edit, and in what format they're going to be giving it back. Is it going to be track changes, which I think would work for us because then we can go and accept the track changes and make sure that the context of what we are saying is not being changed. Yeah.
So essentially, Freddie, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send this to you,
Okay.
right? You're gonna take the annual reports, and then the digital versions are on our website. So you guys can then see when you will be essentially receiving content from us. You can get a glimpse of how big that content is, and then in terms of your project plan, you can then say that it will take you 4 days, 5 days for you to then send it back to us.
Yeah.
So then we'll know that we'll get you essentially your first draft of that section or whatever on this particular date.
Yeah.
So then we'll be able to say these are your turnaround times, and then once you send that to us, we have 3 or 4 days to review and then send back to you. So essentially, as far as the annual report, that's it. And we've already touched on the fact that when it comes to the AFSs, the actual content you'll get as a signed PDF from the AG, so that you guys just essentially insert. So you insert it. No, there's no layer.
There's no time. At the point when we get to this, you will see what we're saying.
Get you.
Go.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So we focus more on the covers.
Yeah.
Front and back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There must be a notes page at the back.
Does it have the notes page?
Yeah, it has a
Yeah,
notes page.
so
at
we
the
have
back.
notes.
So we will create a notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then on the
And then
cover
PDF will
inside,
come.
there's a summary of what the
Okay.
subsidiary is about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the PDF will be in the same size, no? As the A4.
Yeah, it will be an info. So you'll essentially get an email with all the signed AFSs. Yeah, all the PDFs will be like, Freddie, there you go, AFS. And then you guys then have to
So
insert the right ones
Okay.
into the right covers.
To the right cover.
they, so this is for one subsidiary, this is one whole PDF.
Yeah,
Already
so
consolidated already.
so Conhill will have signed AFS
Yeah.
that we're gonna give to you. Yeah.
And then that's.
And then
That's meant.
so then we'll have for GGDA, which is holdings,
Yes,
also signed, and then we'll say this is for AIDC, this is for GIDZ.
And
Yeah.
in separate emails or just one email?
One email.
It's one emails, but the attachments are named, so it will be AIDC, AFS, Conhill AFS, GIDZ AFS, because we're gonna get them all together, and then most of the time it will come from directly from finance, so it will either be Moaz or because it doesn't have to come through us, so it will come from Moaz or Lawrence, and they'll say, Freddie, there you go.
Okay. There's a date for when those are coming.
No, we don't have. So it's essentially when the AG sends it to us is when, yeah, the same day we get it from the AG is when you'll get it. So we don't,
That's why I was saying that you might not have time at the time.
yeah, there's no layout.
Might sign on maybe. And
Mid-August.
there's 5 days for you to go to print,
Yeah.
so that's why we don't want you to mess around with
Yeah.
designing. You would have done the covers, then you just insert and you're able
Yeah.
to
Right,
print.
we took. And
And you have your
Because
own
there is
in-house printers.
Those we did. And we don't have our own house, but a good relationship.
I hope
Work
you
with-
have flexible
We
relations.
use Sharino Print. Maybe you know them.
Oh, we do know Sharina.
How was your experience with them? Have you ever worked with them?
We have.
How was that? Was it
All I'm
good?
saying
Was
is
it-
that I don't know what the experience was like,
Well,
but
my-
all I'm
my-
asking
No,
is
yeah,
let
it
them
was-
be
Yeah.
flexible,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to you and the AFSs, because
Also have
Yeah, they've got a good turnaround.
we also have open printing. You
Okay.
don't know it. So our CA actually owns open printing,
Mm.
the one who's
Yeah.
doing the. So
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, but we just have to book. Make sure that we have that booked.
And
So we can
stock.
just come in.
Yeah.
That's
Make
what-
sure everyone's got,
Space for
yeah,
us.
everyone has sufficient stock, etc.
and then because you can see for like from 2023, we used a different type of paper
Yeah.
versus the mat.
Yes.
So it depends on what we see in the design.
Yeah.
That we
Yeah.
will give you guidance, but
Okay.
you will also guide based on the design that we decide to go on as to
Class
the
business
type
man.
of, yeah.
And we're dealing with
Material
30 pages, right?
Huh?
30 pages. I'm seeing here. Small.
Let me see. I think last year's, yeah. No, only because so last year we on 300. No,
We're 246.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
that this
so
year
that's why
will
we
be
said
better.
yeah. So that's why we said 300 because last year we ended up having a larger annual report than the
Oh,
previous
one
year.
other thing. On the marketing and communication insert, right? We normally need you, as much as we will give you our media monitoring stats,
Yeah.
we would normally need you to also give us an overall perspective. So sourcing media monitoring for us.
Yeah, retrospective media monitoring. We'll send you the keywords.
We can be able to get a holistic. This is on everything, so
Yeah.
not just holdings, but also subsidiaries.
Yeah.
And we'll give you then the keywords of what we want.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll have your retrospective media monitoring that you'll do as per the terms of reference, but then you'll also have media monitoring from our end. There's certain, like key events where we've also done like specific media monitoring for those events, like the NEV Summit. There'll be a dedicated media monitoring report for that. Gauteng Investment Conference that has its own dedicated media, Basha, etc. Also because when we get to the narratives around those events, we go back on, especially for marketing purposes, the media monitoring. Yeah, we include those in the media monitoring. But you'll take a look at the marketing sections and see, because it's not like a little subsection. I think the difference between us and I think other departments, organizations, the fact that you're not dealing with one entity, you're dealing with 5. And then you've got Markhams, which is like almost like it's a sub in its own. So what you'll realize is that there are certain sections or inputs that you'll find in our annual reports that have not been in like previous ones that you may have done. Which is why we're unique. Yeah, so it makes us different because I mean the guys that did these annual reports, IWW, last year they started doing the DED one. And they were telling me, no, it's such a breeze. And I was like, well, obviously.
I can already see now.
And I was like, yes, and they were like, we were flowing through. I'm like, wow. And then there'll be instance where, especially towards the end, I'm pre-warning you. Manisha and I will most likely invade your office. And then we'll be honorary staff members. So it's generally like a week leading up to sign off.
Let's make sure that we get.
Yes. And I also develop a very close relationship with the designers. So you can also forewarn the designer, please.
Even on your media monitoring, try if you're outsourcing it, which I probably think you will, contract now and get it working now. Rato will give you keywords. Because I think one thing we haven't struggled in the past, but last year we struggled where I think we were cutting.
Yes, it was, and it was also a new company they were trying out. so there was back and forth in terms of also the data that they'd given us. We realized that they had omitted quite a lot of things. So they had to go back again. Okay.
Anything else?
That is it on my end, aside from the fact that we do have a draft SLA. Now that we've met you, I'll share that with you. It's in PDF format. So what you'll need to fill in the blanks as far as your details, company details, and your personal detail, as well as we'll need you to initial each and every page and sign the last one. And then you'll have to input the pricing schedule in there. It's one of the annexes, as well as the what's this thing?
The pricing schedule in terms of our.
Yeah, your code. Yeah. So you'll have to insert your code because that forms part of the contract.
Yes.
As well as, so this is the code that you submitted, and obviously the PO is based on that quotation, as well as your project timeline.
Okay.
So once you've revised that, then you'll include it in the SLA, initial sign, and send it through to us so that we can have our CEO sign.
The code has so one can issue periodic invoices. Just asking if that's periodic invoices.
Yeah. So we
the
can.
cost of, I mean, you know, with different entities, it's different. Some they like finish the work and then we will.
Yeah, leave it. Previously, I think we've done one tranche. But if you guys require tranches, then that's a discussion that we should have.
We should have.
Yeah. So take a look at it. Take a look at the work. If you guys do require, then you need to let us know so that we can agree on that before signing the SLA. So that is also included within the SLA if there's going to be tranches.
Okay.
No.
It's fine. I just have to talk first with the printers.
Yeah.
Because it's an allocated amount for the printers, but I just need to make sure that everything is aligned. Then I'll let you know. If then we'll just do it afterwards.
Okay. No, perfect. And then also obviously any invoice that comes to us needs to come with evidence in terms of what we're invoicing. So if you do realize that you need tranche payments, you then have to say what is going to unlock that payment. So what's going to be delivered? Yeah. So if it's phase one, what is the deliverable for phase one that we submit as evidence for it to unlock that tranche payment? Yeah.
Anisha, anything to add? Full TV?
I am actually fine on my side. I'm sure we have Freddie is in information overdrive at the moment. And it can seem quite intimidating when we take you through it, especially if you've not worked with GGDA before, just by the nature of how we are structured, and also the level of information and volume of detail that we're going to be requiring. But I think I'm covered with all of the deliverables, and then we'll just wait the project plan to come through, and obviously we'll add and build on that, with anything we might think of. But yeah, I think I'm covered. Good luck, Freddie, and welcome to GGDA and our annual report. Madness.
Yeah.
Just one note, how soon, I know Lerato's gonna be sending you our guideline and timelines. How soon will you get your project plan back to us with your timelines with regards to giving us inputs aligned to what we have?
Sorry,
Your project plan.
My project plan, I've just emailed it to Lerato just now.
Okay, but it's gonna have to be.
It's going to-
Yeah, you're going to have to.
I've just sent it. Yeah.
So given that Lerato's gonna send you now what she's worked on,
Yes.
obviously you're gonna have to edit and revise
Yes.
and align.
And
How long will it take for you to resubmit to us something that is consolidated that includes
that's going to take place tomorrow.
tomorrow?
The moment I receive it today,
Yeah, I'm sending it now.
I'm gonna just sit down and this evening. Maybe
Right.
then join my tomorrow morning. We'll probably send it in the afternoon.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. Okay.
No stress.
Colleagues, anything else with TV? You've been very quiet. I know I butchered your name in the start. Apologies. Is she gone home with Manisha?
And then if I
No, they're still there.
Oh,
something I didn't ask, how have in the previously, which tools did your designers use to build this?
In
In
design.
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 Yeah.
Design.
We
And
are-
what do you use?
I use InDesign or Affinity.
Okay.
Yes.
As long as it's not
As
coming.
long as it's not cancer.
No, no, no.
All right, good.
Right.
You can't afford Affinity, so it's
Okay.
a slow
Mm.
Alright. No.
Affinity layout. But we're gonna go and design this one because I just, we get some.
Yeah, no, it's in design.
Just for collaboration.
Okay.
There's a lot of changes.
Okay. Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks, Manisha and VTV.
Thanks,
Oh, then
everybody.
we need to, one thing, wait, one thing.
Wait.
We need to
Mm.
have weekly meetings so they can be online. So these are just progress meetings so we can track and troubleshoot. So these can primarily be online, and then if needed, we'll do physical.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So
Lerato, just
Yes.
in terms of the weekly meetings, just remember that AG has the steercom every Friday. So we just need to schedule it any other day but Friday.
Last time you guys had
Wednesdays.
Wednesday meetings, maybe you keep your Wednesday meetings. I don't know
Yeah.
how your Wednesday is. I will drop in and out. I trust you guys now. You've done this for 2 years, 3 years. I'll drop in and out as and when required, but and close to the end, I'll probably then be there every meeting.
Yeah.
So leave it to you, Manisha and Lerato.
Yeah. So if you can just check your calendar and see, we generally do an hour long meeting. Just check your Wednesdays from here until infinity. We scheduled them until the end of April, essentially. So from now until 31st April, not April, August.
I was about to say you're a bit behind, Lerato.
Actually, when she said April, Manisha, she triggered something. After the annual report is done, one of the key things that we request is a presentation.
Yes. Oh,
And
yes. Yes, yes.
Please, can that presentation come through? It's a summary presentation of the annual report. It's what M&E uses after the annual report, a digital
I
one.
think I remember seeing something like
Yes,
that.
a really nice designed one, practical but beautifully designed one. Please, we need that
So if you
presentation.
summarize the annual.
The annual.
Yeah.
All of it and all of it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And then we'll need it in editable format, but we'll also then need it in already
Okay.
Yeah.
More PowerPoint.
locked. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you,
Mhm.
colleagues.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.